As the war in West Asia intensifies further, US President Donald Trump has declared a victory, saying that Tehran is on the brink of defeat, but warning that it doesn't mean US is going to end the war immediately. Now, Trump said the United States will remain engaged in the Iran conflict to finish the job, citing major military gains, including the destruction of dozens of Iranian naval vessels. However, this comes after Trump suggested the war could soon be over because Washington had run out of targets. Now, speaking to reporters in Washington, Trump warned that it will be almost impossible to rebuild the country should the U.S. choose to escalate strikes and hit sections of Tehran. Listen to this.
We don't want to leave early, do we? We got to finish the job, right? Over the past 11 days, our military has virtually destroyed Iran. Tough country. Their air force is gone, totally gone. That took the better part of about 3 hours.
Further, the U.S. president said the U.S. is going to look very strongly at the straits. Earlier in the week, Trump had hinted at the possibility of taking over the strategic Strait of Hormuz, which is a key global oil choke point, carrying a fifth of the world's oil.
In very good shape. You see what's happening. They are pretty much at the end of the line. Doesn't mean we're going to end it immediately, but they've got no Navy, they've got no Air Force, they've got no anti-air traffic, anything. They have no systems of control. We're just riding free range over that country. And now we're going to look very strongly at the straits. The straits are in great shape.
Meanwhile, as oil prices are continually disrupted, the United States Department of Energy said it will release 172 million barrels from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve beginning next week. Now, the release would take approximately 120 days to deliver based on the planned discharge rates. The agency also accused Iran of manipulating and threatening the energy security of America and its allies. Iran, too, on its part, issued a series of warnings by threatening to wage a prolonged war with the United States and Israel that would destroy the world economy. The statement comes as fighting near the Strait of Hormuz rattles energy markets and prompts emergency reserve releases. Oil prices have surged since February 28th, when US and Israel launched airstrikes on Iran, killing its supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei and plunging the West Asia region into conflict. And to unpack this further, we were earlier joined by Professor Peter Kuznick. He's a professor of history and director of the Nuclear Studies Institute at American University. And this is what he had to say. Listen in.
There's not really any off-ramp in sight. Trump is always capable of declaring victory and saying the war is over, but the Iranians aren't going to go along with that. The Iranians are intent upon inflicting maximum damage on the U.S. and its allies, and they're doing that through asymmetric warfare. They don't have the firepower, obviously, that the United States and Israel have, but what they do have is the ability to pretty much shut down the Strait of Hormuz, which is really having a devastating impact on the U.S. economy and the global economy. The world depends on that oil. We use the figure that 20% of the world's oil goes through the Strait of Hormuz, but you have to realize that half of the world's oil is actually consumed in countries themselves. So in terms of the amount of world oil that's traded, it's closer to 50% that goes through the Strait of Hormuz. So this is having a very, very severe impact all over the world right now. It will have some impact, certainly, but we saw today that the price of crude oil dropped to $90 a barrel, then went up again toward $100 a barrel after this was announced. So it's not going to have an immediate impact. It's not going to be some kind of magic elixir that's going to cure the problems. And it's a serious problem for Trump, which is why he wants this to end. This war in the United States is very, very unpopular. Trump's approval ratings are in the toilet even before the war, and there's so much discontent. Officially, they were saying today that 3 out of every 5 Americans are very badly affected by the increase in energy prices on top of the inflation that's consistent going on. And the jobs report that just came out for the month of February was terrible. The United States lost 92,000 jobs last month rather than increasing the number of jobs. So this is not a good situation for Trump. He can do as much happy talk and tell as many lies as he wants, but this is a very serious situation. And the other members of his party are very concerned that they're going to get slaughtered in the November elections. And then there's the MAGA people. You've got, for example, Tucker Carlson, his big MAGA supporter, said that this war is absolutely disgusting and evil. Marjorie Taylor Greene said that the members of the Trump regime are sick effing liars. You hear this from Eric Prince. You hear this from Joe Rogan. So the MAGA bros, at least many of them, are very, very upset about this because they're old enough to know that the U.S. has been lied into one war after another during our lifetimes, one war after another. Vietnam was a pack of lies, Iraq, a pack of lies, Afghanistan, a pack of lies, Libya, what we did in Syria. I mean, so the American people's willingness to tolerate this is very, very brief right now. And Donald Trump is feeling that pressure, no matter how much he says how great things are going.